So this is Stock Vision PowerScan Chart Indicators Part 1, the moving averages. SMA, EMA, Bollinger Bands, Keltner Bands, and MACD are all chart indicators based on moving averages. So let's look at SMA. SMA stands for Simple Moving Average. It is a simple arithmetic moving average. All it does is take the average closing price of a stock over a selected period of time. So basically it was designed to follow a stock. Now over here you have your step. If it's on step 8 and time interval of daily, then the SMA is calculated based on the average closing price of the stock over the last 8 days. Now if we were to change the step to 15, then now we're calculating the average closing price of a stock over the last 15 days. You see how that works? Now EMA is a moving average. The E stands for exponential. The idea of exponential moving average is the same as the simple moving average, except that more weight is given to the latest data. So what happens is the stock tends to hug the exponential moving average a little bit more because there's more weight on the more recent closing prices. And I'll show you, you see how the simple moving average, the exponential moving average tends to hug the stock a little bit closer than the simple moving average. You see that? Okay, so that's EMA. Bollinger Bands is this middle line here is actually a simple moving average. It's a simple moving average. The line above that is the standard deviation above the simple moving average, and the line below it is the standard deviation below the simple moving average. There are many different ways to read this indicator to try to predict a direction in stock. One way I'll show you is you see how when the stock tends to hit the lower deviation of the simple moving average, at some point it tends to bounce off that for some nice gains. So here, here, and here. And to the contrary, it'll also tend to bounce down off the upper deviation here, here, and here. So there's also Keltner Bands. Keltner Bands is a lot like Bollinger Bands. However, the difference is these are volatility-based envelopes set above and below an exponential moving average. So your middle line here is an EMA, not an SMA, but an EMA, an exponential moving average. And the envelopes above and below are volatility-based. So as you can see, it looks a lot similar to Bollinger Bands, but it's a little bit different. Okay, the final component involving moving averages is MACD. MACD stands for Moving Average Convergence Divergence, which turns two trend-following indicators, moving averages, into a momentum oscillator by subtracting the longer moving average from the shorter moving average. As a result, MACD offers the best of both worlds in trend following and momentum. MACD will fluctuate above and below the zero line. As you can see here, this is the zero line, as the two lines converge and diverge. Now let me show you an example. You see here where the red line crosses above the green line? look at the change in direction of the stock and the gains there. Once again, the red line crosses above the green line. Look at the gains. Red line crosses above the green line. So as you can see, MACD, there's also MACD histogram, which is the same idea as MACD, but it's a little bit easier to see. So those are the 6 available components that are based on simple moving averages.